Welcome to the CWV podcast. We liberate lives with our vocal. Welcome, fellow seekers of knowledge, to the inaugural episode of the CWV podcast. I'm your host, Sultan Ayodele, and I'm thrilled to embark on this journey of exploration with you as we delve into the enigmatic world of the Book of Apostles. Welcome, dear listeners, back to the CWB podcast. And we have been delving through the captivating world of the Bible. We have been checking different phases of the Bible, and we're trusting God that there will be insight from this next episode, titled the book, The Art of Submission. The Bible emphasizes the importance of submission in various texts, but it is crucial to understand that biblical submission is not about blind obedience or supervillaince. Instead, it is a voluntary act of yielding to a higher authority out of respect, love, and recognition of their rightful authority. Look at this particular word. It's talking about that the act of submission is a voluntary act, meaning that you can volunteer to submit. It's not something that is not something that is compulsory, but it's a voluntary act when it comes to what? Checking it biblically. It says that it is not a blind obedience or subservient. It is not a blind obedience or subservience. It means that it's something that you do willingly. Okay, it's something that is done willingly in the respect of love, recognition, or rightful authority. Now let's check submission to God. What does submission to God really means? God is the ultimate authority. We're looking at ultimate authority. God is the ultimate authority, and submitting to Him involves aligning our thoughts, words, and action with His will as revealed in the Bible. Benefit of submission. Submitting to God brings blessings, protection, and guidance. It leads to a deeper relationship with Him and enables us to resist temptation and overcome challenges. Example of Christ, which is Jesus. Though divine, submitted Himself to the will of the Father, setting the perfect example of humanity and obedience. Now let's check submission to authorities. Submissions to authorities. Respect for leaders. The Bible encourages believers to respect and submit to governing authorities, recognizing their God-given role. Purpose of authority. Authorities are established by God to maintain order and promote justice. Submitting to them is a way of honoring God's design. Limits to submission. While we should submit to authorities, we must also be mindful of the limits. If a command contradicts God's law, we must obey God rather than human authority. You can take note of that. It means that there's a limit to submission when it comes to what? Submitting to authority. So if he's going against the will of God. If the authority is going against the will of God, it is rather to what? To submit to God than submitting to the human authority. Now let's check submitting to one another. Mutual submission. Mutual submission. In marriage, husbands and wives are called to submit to each other out of love and respect. This mutual submission fosters unity, harmony, and a deeper bond. Serving others, respect for others, serving others. Submitting to one another involves serving others, putting their needs before our own. This is a reflection of Christ's sacrificial love. Now, this is the final conclusion. It is important to note that biblical submission is never about oppression or exploitation. It is a selfless act that flows from a heart of love and devotion. By submitting to God and the authorities He has placed in our lives, we demonstrate our faith and trust in His divine plan for our life. In the book of Jeremiah 29 verse 11, God says that He alone knows the plan He has for us. So in the act of submission, we should know that only God has the template for our life. He has the what? He has the plan for our life. So don't let us forget our place of submission. And don't let us forget the place of knowing that whatever thing we submit to should be the will of God, should be the actual will of God. Meaning that when you're submitting to human flesh, it means that it must be the will of God for that thing you want to do. Make sure that it is aligning with what God is saying concerning that thing you want to do. I pray that the Lord give us understanding and insight in the name of Jesus. Have a blessed day.
Do you like this episode? Don't forget to subscribe to the CWV podcast to stay updated on our latest episode and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X to read our posts and updates. Content Writer's Voice is a rising online platform, your source for your writing needs. From captivating designs to engaging blog posts and web copy, our professional writing services make a difference. Contact us today and let your words speak volume. Thank you for listening.